The Jedi Temple on Coruscant is one of the most recognizable locations in all of Star Wars. But LEGO's never made anything from this location. So today, I'm gonna build my own set. And I'm like 50% sure it's gonna turn out good, so go ahead and hit that like button now. And hey, maybe even the toy company themselves will see this and take some inspiration. Imagine LEGO seeing this. The Jedi Temple is full of expansive hallways, training rooms, the archives, and of course, the council room, located at the top of this spire. And that is exactly what we're gonna be building today. So I just need to figure out exactly how to do that. After some extensive research, I've learned that the council room is in fact round, which poses some problems because building round objects with square Lego bricks proves to be very difficult. So I downloaded the Lego building software called Studio and played around with their infinite supply of parts since I'm too lazy to organize my own parts collection. I made a snail, oh my god. After about 3 hours of carefully crafting, I came to the conclusion that all of these designs really sucked, and I wanted a simpler foundation to build upon. One outcome from this tedious experiment was that I wanted to make it circular. I also wanted to use these hinge bricks and some algebraic equation of wedges. Now the Jedi Council is actually a pretty large room, and I wanted this to be as close to minifigure scale as possible. That means I need to fit 12 seats around the room for each of the council members. And that reminds me, I need to get the actual council members, but we'll loop back to that here soon. I played around with the idea of making it a cutaway so that there would be a clear focal point for this to be on display on my shelf, for example, but I didn't actually want to skip out on having all 12 chairs. That was kind of a priority for me. Then the inspiration finally hit me. Wait, this is actually $400? I mean, I like this, but I'm also gonna build some walls, which means I'm gonna need some more parts. Wait, that's the wrong color. That's better. And while I do have some of my parts actually organized, it still wasn't enough because there were some special parts I wanted for this build. After a little experimentation with wedges that I had, this was looking like it would be a very satisfying angle, but I just had one problem. I literally only had 3 of these wedges, and they were all left side wedges. $500 later, I was able to order 18 dark tan massive wedge plates, and 18 tan smaller wedge plates from a total of about 26 different brickling sellers. I'm exaggerating, of course, but I did add a few extra pieces in there that I might use in like the next 6 years just to save on shipping. But now that we're waiting for parts, let's talk minifigures. From episode 1, we've got Yoda, Mace Windu, Depa Billaba, Plo Koon, Saesee Tiin, Ki-Adi-Mundi, Oppo Rancisis, Yarael Poof, Eth Koth, Adi Gallia, Evan Piel, and Yaddle. You'll notice that council members changed over the course of the prequels due to certain situations. So by the time that Anakin is not granted the rank of master and joins the council in episode 3, there had been a few changes. But fortunately for us, LEGO's actually made quite a few of these Jedi Council members. There are 12 versions of Yoda, so most of these will work, but then for episode 2, there's specifically a Clone Wars Yoda. By his side is Grandmaster Mace Windu, which LEGO only just re-released with Clone Wars arm printing. But I'm gonna stick to this Mace Windu since I feel like the face print is a little more suitable for this situation. Next up is Plo Koon, the Keldor responsible for later recruiting baby Ahsoka. This character has only been in 3 different LEGO sets and hasn't been produced for nearly 10 years. And similarly, Saesee Tiin, the Itachi Jedi Master, last appeared in 2012, and I have the more cursed looking version from the Starfighter set. And lastly is Ki-Adi-Mundi, and I say lastly because these 5 Jedi are the only masters that retained their seats all the way through the prequels, up until Order 66, that is. Also seated on the council is Eth Koth and Evan Piel. And as for the remaining 4, LEGO never actually made any of these minifigures. So again, I'm gonna fix that. Depa Billaba, who ends up training young Caleb Dume, aka Kanan, can pretty easily be recreated with some Jedi robes, a brown cape, and this skin tone head from the Snowtrooper Battle Pack. It would be great to get a custom face and hairpiece for her though, as she wears this headpiece and has braids. Yaddle too can be recreated using a Yoda minifigure, different robes, a brown cape, and of course Rey's hairpiece stuck to the back of her head. For Adi Gallia, who fought during the Clone Wars, helped to save Jedi Masters that are also on the council, and was brutally taken out by Savage Opress, what do we get? No minifigure. But her lookalike cousin, whose literal only screen time is being taken out during Order 66, has a minifigure. And before you say it, oh, but you're just being unreasonable, hear me out. Eth Koth, a pretty mid character, gets captured during the Clone Wars and taken out, gets a minifigure in a sweet set, is later replaced by Agent Kular, who also gets taken out in like 0.5 seconds by a grumpy old man and is in a $500 plus set. See the discrepancy? So this is the best I can do because she has a blue lightsaber and that's literally the only difference. Next up is one of the weirdest species ever, a serpentine species, and since I'm not a weird Ninjago fan, I don't have this serpentine piece. But I did have Dumbledore and a basilisk, so I was able to come up with this.
I'm a snake.
And lastly, everybody's favorite, Yarael Poof, also known as Jarl, because I think that's more fun to say. His species is a Kermian.
Hey everyone.
This Jedi Master didn't get much time on screen, so I'm a little unsure if he died protecting Coruscant from the infant Shah, or actually survived. In fact, I've heard that he became a chef on the Death Star.
I'll have the bisque.
Now that we've at least got our Episode 1 council members ready to go, let's get this thing put together. I started out by making my circle, and then I added spokes outwards just like a wheel. Then after reinforcing it, I topped it off with all my lovely wedge plates, and this pizza turned out almost perfect. Then it was time to build the walls, and I was a little uncertain how to do this because these massive round beams are encased in another round object slightly at an angle. I quickly figured out a way to accomplish this and was able to line it up with some cheese slopes, which looks dope. Then I outlined the other two pillars and created two big open windows for the sections between. Now these windows are actually huge, but given the geometry I'm working with, I ended up with these proportions. I added a second window up top using a sideways arch technique in the absolute wrong color of brick because these are the only arches I have and I was adamant on adding this detail. And from there, I just needed to fill everything in. Oh, and add a door. I looked online and found this clip that shows the color of the door and recreated it like this in Lego. Then I added an archway and some lights and called it good. Okay, this is really starting to shape up, but I need a few final finishing touches before I move in all the seats. I added sloped tiles to the top and this single plant piece to represent the floor decorations because I literally forgot to buy these and this was the only one I had. So finally, after all that hard work, we can sit down and take a rest. Oh wait. For the chairs in the council, there are three main types, and I want to know from you which one you think is the most comfortable. Up first is the largest seat, and kind of the most common since there's like 5 of them. This one was the easiest to build, but I didn't really have enough parts to make all of them exactly the same. The next chair is this weird looking one with the angled bars, and I had to get pretty creative on these connections because I didn't have any more of these clips or bar pieces. I think what I've done here is pretty illegal. But it worked and I was happy enough with how they turned out. The last chair is this round one, which looks like an egg chair. It's where Yoda sits, so it's like the Yoda egg chair. And this one requires some ingenuity to craft with snotty snot pieces built sideways. But this is how they turned out, and to place them, I'm gonna add these rotating plates because who doesn't love a spinny chair? And now, with all 12 seats, the council is in session.
Oh? Trained as a Jedi, your request for him,
Finding him was the will of the Force. I have no doubt of that.
By the events of Episode 2, Yaddle steps down, or rather... and she was replaced by Shakti. Jarl Poof must have gotten tired of delivering pizzas to the council, because he was replaced by Coleman Trebor, who unfortunately took too much fall damage in the Geonosis arena shortly after and was replaced by Kit Fisto. Evan Piel also took a little too much battle damage during the Clone Wars and was replaced by Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Hello there.
And by Episode 3, Agent Kular, Stas Ali, Coleman Kaj, and Anakin Skywalker had all joined the council, but when it comes to Lego, some of them are actually able to sit better than others. Those having short legs have to be removed since they can't sit, and then a lot of these headpieces get in the way of them sitting down too. So I'm not surprised they allowed Anakin Skywalker to sit on the council. He can sit on the council just fine.
Thank you for being so dumb.
Becoming a master, however, did not go his way.
Take a seat.
Out of the 20 Jedi that did sit on the council over the prequels, LEGO has created 14 of them. And with the remaining 6 here, I could see LEGO possibly making a Depa or Yaddle in a set, but probably not these other 4 unless, I don't know, there was some miraculous resurrection of Clone Wars content. And there you have it, the Jedi Council, representing every single iconic scene across the prequels.
There's too many of them. What are we going to do?
Make sure to like the video and leave a comment below who your favorite Jedi is. Thanks for watching this one, and we'll see you next time.